for all they that take the sword shall perish with it. Shalom, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. My name is Akian, you're Mayan, coming at y'all with another one. And before we get started, we're going to give all praises, honor, and the glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ha-Raha-Kodash. Double honor to the apostles at Great Millstone who taught us this 100% truth. Okay? Peace, blessings, and salutations to the house of David. Okay? You men, first and foremost, that's presenting your bodies as a living sacrifice, that's standing so stiffly for the true names and true powers. Okay? Yahweh would be the name of who the world ignorantly calls God. And Yahweh Shai would be the name of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus the Christ. But his real name is Yahweh Shai, according to the ancient Paleo-Hebrew. Okay? And just like this, I came up with this concept, this lesson. Okay? Just thinking about, you know, the blood that Esau Edom's getting ready to spill. And all the blood that he spilled throughout history, man. Okay? I was going over Daniel, the 8th chapter, the breakdown last night when I was at work, and it led me to Antiochus Epiphanes, okay, and what he's done to our people, you know. After Alexander, after Alexander ruled, he passed away, because Alexander, he conquered, all the lands, and then he didn't have any more land to conquer. Okay, but ultimately he passed away. To make a long story short, he passed away, and he left the kingdom to his 4 generals. Okay, and these 4 generals, they were some wicked ass bastards, man. It tells you in the book of Maccabees that wickedness increased throughout the 4 corners of the earth once the Edomites got in power. Okay, and that spirit that they were in, being against each other, because they were against each other. Okay, here it is, 4 generals of the Edomites. They all supposed to be working together, but next thing you know, they had different belief systems. They have different ways of going about, conquering. They couldn't come together and rule. Okay, and that's the same thing what you see here today. Okay, the Edomites are all against each other. They can't come on one accord, because ultimately they're the wicked. They're strange. They can't. Which is crook can't be made straight. Okay, so this is what you see, and ultimately, man, it's a trickle down effect, because what, Stockholm syndrome, turned our people into Edomites. Okay, and what you see here on the left side, is Jake, and it looks like somewhere in some ghetto. I asked ChatGPT to make me this picture. Okay, and Jake, is against themselves too as well in the ghettos in America, man. Okay, and what are they doing? They killing with the sword. It's the same thing Esau Edom doing. Ultimately, they're taking after their oppressors. Okay, so it's a reason why it's going to be a mass murder here in Babylon the Great. It's because our people have taken on the ways of the Edomites. Okay, we learned how to kill our brothers. How to kill each other by the Edomites, because that's the nature of Esau Edom. Okay, so without further ado, we're gonna jump right into this thing, man. Let me grab my sword real quick. Since I got that on the screen, I'll just pull out my sword, and we're gonna get right into it. So we're gonna start off in the book of Matthew. Let's get the book of Matthew, chapter 26, in verse 52. It says, Matthew 26 and 52. It says, then said Yahweh Shai unto him, put up again thy sword unto its place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Now you see that? So Yahweh Shai is speaking. Okay, and he's telling I believe Peter to put his sword up, man. Okay, because if you live by it, you'll die by the sword, man. Okay, see, our weapons of warfare are not carnal, okay, but mighty through the pulling down of strongholds. We see our strength, okay, is through this word. It's through speaking and preaching the gospel. Okay, our power source, comes from our tongue, and ultimately, it's really the Lord's voice that's coming. It's really the Lord that's speaking through the men of the Lord. That's speaking through us. Okay, You see, so you niggas in the hood, you know, and you continue to, you know, try and find your ops, and you wanna murder and kill, and you wanna steal, and you wanna rob. Okay, you learned that from your father Esau Edom, man. Okay, whose names are on those guns, man? That's Esau Edom. Okay, you see, but see, we're living in times where you have to change, man. You have to turn back and do the search, the diligent search, okay, of the customs of the most wise, beautiful people on the planet, which would be the Israelites, man. Okay, you have to do your due diligence, man. Okay, and search the ways of your forefathers. All right, you see, it's the reason why we talk about you 2/3 niggas, man. Okay, you know, y'all at the NBA Young Boy concert, all y'all were in that spirit. Okay, and shame on you parents, man, for, you know, for not noticing, you know, the wickedness that comes with these entertainers and, you know, certain celebrities and certain ways of life. Shame on y'all, man. Okay, you can't see, you know, that your children shouldn't be listening to this type of fucking music, man. All right, that you shouldn't be polluting your, you know, you should be steering your children in the most in a positive direction. Okay, but this is the dream state that Esau Edom has our people in, man. Okay, where our people are literally in the matrix. You know, they think it's definitely real cool, okay, to be a nigga. Okay, they think it's all right. Esau Edom had me thinking that at one point in time in life, man. You know, I remember one time I said, I remember one time an Edomite, one of these Edomites, this is when I was younger, had called somebody a nigger, you know, at my job, and then he tried to straighten it up, and then I guess he tried to straighten it out like everybody is a nigger. So I was like, shit, I am a nigga. You know what I'm saying? I was proud to say that I was a nigga, and this because Esau Edom had me in that dream state. You know, he had my mind wanting to be, thought it was the best thing on the earth to be a nigga from the hood. Thought it was the best thing on the earth to want to be a rapper, want to be a football player, to want to hustle drugs and, you know, be the man in your neighborhood and shit. Okay, I had no idea that Esau Edom was the devil the Bible speaks of, and that he, you know, created the nigga, man. You know, how did he create the nigga? Through television, okay, through influence. All right, everything we know in our mind and want to be like is on TV, and who controls the media? Esau Edom, man. All right, see, this is why this is why he has to pay, right? Because he forwarded the affliction. Okay, yes, he was sent to conquer us, but he went beyond his means. Okay, so let's go to Genesis. Because Amos 8:11 say, you know, because you pursued your brother with the sword, okay, the Lord, he's gonna destroy your ass, man, so to speak, man. All right, so let's read this in Genesis. This is Genesis 9:6. It says, whosoever sheddeth man's blood, it says, by man shall his blood be shed. You see that? And who is the most bloodiest man on the earth? Okay, that would be Esau Edom, man. Okay, you know, the bloodiest man on the earth. Okay, the man that shedded the most blood on the planet. Okay, so ultimately the Lord is going to come and shed his blood. Whosoever sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. And this goes for you 2/3 niggas too, man. Okay, you think it's all right that you got 5 teardrops on your face, that you done killed and body, you got multiple bodies. Okay, take King Von for a prime example. Okay, you know, he's glorified in the nigga neighborhoods, man. He's glorified in a nigga neighborhood. And all niggas, you go on his channel, you see people talking about him, you see mad motherfuckers defending this damn demon, man. Okay, see, they pushed King Von's spirit throughout to your young children, making it think it's okay to catch bodies. All right, these little niggas think it's okay to catch a body, man. All right, this is what our people was pushing. All right, just take a prime example. King Von is his mother. She's an attractive woman, you know, but she's a nigga in the spirit, man. I seen her dancing to her son music in the club. She's 50-something years old. She moving around swagging like a 20-year-old. Okay, and it just goes to show where he got it from. Oh man, listen, man, our people are, Hosea 4:6 is right on point, man. Our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, man. We think being a nigga is something. You know, all niggas do is go in the square. Okay, they go, you know, they do the same shit all over and over and over again and then 20 years later, there's no growth from being a nigga. There's no, you know, there's no type of there's no type of elevation in being a nigga. You just be the same motherfucker. You just 10 years older. Okay? You know, I remember seeing niggas you 20 years old, 10 years later, 20 years later, they still the same nigga that they was 20 years ago, man. Thinking it's still trying to sell a little bit of crack, you know? And it's just like, God damn, man, you ain't learned shit. You know? And that's the plan of Esau Edom, man, to keep your ass at a lower estate, man. Okay? Whosoever sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of the Most High made he man. There you go, man. Okay, so yeah, man, you shed man's blood, your blood gonna be shed, man. Okay? See, back in the ancient days, we shedded blood, but what happened before we shed the blood? Okay, we go to the oracles, we go to the prophets, okay, and we get the message from Yahweh, okay, the Heavenly Father, to go to go into a city and destroy it. Okay, we don't just move just because we want to kill and spill blood. See, that's the nature of Esau Edom. Okay, Revelations 13:10, it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. There you go, man. Okay, so who led into captivity? Okay, who was the main oppressors here in America, man? Who did the Lord get earth to? The wicked, which is who? Esau Edom. Okay, according to Malachi 1:4. All right, it says, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. There you go, man. Okay, see, we're patiently waiting, okay, for Esau Edom to catch his judgment here in Babylon the Great, man. All right, and what are we doing to further it? We're doing the works diligently, man. We're sticking to the scriptures, man. All right, we're not moving on our own will. Okay, we praying to the Heavenly Father on a daily to keep our spirits, you know, on a certain level, to be productive, to be productive in his ministry, man. All right, we praying that we do his will, okay, not our own. Right, this is Isaiah 31:8. It says, then shall the Assyrians fall with the sword. You see, so if you read up higher in the chapter, the Lord said, he was telling the Israelites, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, because Egypt, okay, was the superpower. You know, actually it was Assyrians, okay, you know, and the Assyrians, you know, and the Lord is telling our people, listen, I'm the one to control, man. Okay, I'm the one that's gonna take these. I'll put them in power, and I can shed their fucking blood. Okay, so the Lord is telling us to take our trust out of the Egyptians, man, the superpowers of the earth. Okay, then shall the Assyrian fall with the sword. You see that? Not of a mighty man, and the sword, not of the mean man. It says shall devour him, but he shall flee from the sword, and his young men shall be discomfited. You see that? It says, and he shall pass over his stronghold for fear, and his princes shall be afraid of the ensign. It says, saith the Lord, whose fire is in Zion, and his furnace in Jerusalem. You see that? So the Lord don't give a damn. We can't hide under the oppression of the Edomites, man. Okay, because guess what? 2/3 of our people got to get put to death here in Babylon the Great. All right, you can't hide under the strength of Esau Edom's and his power. You know, and our people are so fucking destroyed. They think that Esau Edom got this power on his own, man. They don't know that Proverbs 21:1 say that the Lord giveth the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, man. They don't understand that. Okay, see, your best bet here in these last days is to hearken to your power, man. All right, hearken to who gave, you know, these damn demons that they rulership. All right, because it don't matter who it is, man. All the nations, you know, you Israelites, all of y'all gonna get what y'all deserve. This is Romans 12:19. It says, dearly beloved, avenge not your own selves, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine, and I will repay, saith the Lord. You see that? So we're not avenging our own selves, man. We're waiting for the Lord. Okay, because all of you niggas that's you know, you're here and you under the system of Esau Edom, and you under his false beliefs. Okay, you be trusting in him, you gonna get what you deserve too. Everybody has a lot. Okay, the scriptures say whoever perished being innocent. Okay, and you're gonna have to catch this death. This is why we always talk about it, and we understand, man, that you just living your own life, you're doing your own thing. Okay, and ultimately it's gonna lead to your destruction, man. Okay, so this is Ezekiel 35:1. It says, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir. And that's what the men of the Lord doing now. We're setting our face, okay, against Esau, Edom, man. Doing what? And prophesy against it. Yep, and we're prophesying against this place. Okay, it says, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee. The Lord said he's against you Edomites. Okay, he's against you Russian Edomites. He's against you American Edomites. He's against you British Edomites. He's against all other kingdoms on earth, man. Okay, it's not just the Edomites. He's against all of y'all. Okay, and ultimately he's about to take you out of power. It says, I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel. You see, because you continually to shed the blood of the children of Israel. It says, by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, and the time that their iniquity had an end. There you go, man. Okay, you see, because you kept pursuing us with the sword. All right, you know, you're a false accuser. Okay, you're that man. You're the accuser of the Israelites. You blame the Israelites for everything that everything that goes wrong here in Babylon the Great. Okay, you see, that's you, and the Lord is going to pay you back for that. So with that being said, Lord's willing, this was edifying call. Halayim la Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Harakak Wadash. Into the next one. Shalom.